Hello, everybody, and welcome. This is your favorite Gallifreyan Time Martin, Murphy's Law. I'm sorry it's taken me so long to get the next video in my series, but traveling through time and space, you often get lost in whatever you do. Not to mention that your machine is not exactly the most reliable one, as it is constantly landing in the wrong time or the wrong place. Anyway, I am here, and I thought I would start by discussing one of the many games that I play. In this part of the series, I'm going to be talking about Don't Starve by Klei Entertainment. In Don't Starve, you play Wilson, a German scientist who was kind of lost his inspiration until a ghostly voice from a radio says he has secret knowledge for you, which you gladly accept. All of these facts and figures and formulas start pouring into your head, and you start busily creating this giant machine. Part of the operation of the machine uh, involves two white mice taped together, a typewriter, and a little bit of your blood. Once it's finished, then it's time to pull the lever to activate it. But you get a little bit hesitant, but the voice from the radio compels you, so you pull a lever. Two ghostly arms from the floor come up, grab you, bring you down, and then later deposit you out in the wilderness, which is where the game begins. Now, this game was heavily influenced by Minecraft and has a certain Tim Burton feel, which is it's kind of a macabre, black and white, Victorian time. Now, in this game, you are out in the wilderness, and the object is to try to survive. You pick up different materials like grass and rocks and flint. You can forage for berries and mushrooms. You use these materials to create tools. Now, along with all this stuff, you have four things to try to monitor. You have your time, and then you have your three aspects, your three statuses, which are health, hunger, and sanity. Now, with the time, the clock initially is split into three parts. Well, the clock itself is split into two, with half of it being daytime, and the other half split with 2/3 to 1/3 of evening and night. As you go through each day, you'll get more daytime, and which means your evening and your nighttime will shorten. With daytime, everything is normal. With nighttime, everything starts to darken. With nighttime, it becomes completely dark, and if you are not near a source of light, you will get attacked and eventually killed. You will never know what it is that attacks you, because if you bring out a torch, like right after your attack, there is nothing around you. So it is imperative that you build yourself a fire or get near a house with a light at that time. As for your three statuses, as far as hunger, you alleviate that by eating stuff, as long as it's not like poisonous, monster meat, certain mushrooms, and so forth. As far as health, it remains the same unless you eat something poisonous or you get attacked. As far as your sanity, that depends on what activities you do. Now, as your sanity starts to diminish, you will start to see shadows in the ground. They won't really affect you at all, but then as it gets lower and lower, the shadows actually become material and can attack you. You have, in this game, several different types of terrain. You have like meadowland, you have rocky ground, you have prairie, you have swamp, and you have basically like dead forest land. Meadowland is where you get most of your grasses and mushrooms. You can find beehives there. You'll find butterflies around flowers. Rocky ground is just, as it suggests, a lot of rocks, if anything at all, or maybe flint. Your prairie is where you'll find a lot of your rabbits and your beefalo. Yes, that's what they're called. They're large buffalo. You also have like forest area, which you can find a lot of pigmen. You might find spiders. You have your swampland, which is basically swampy, and you don't want to stay in there too long because these large tentacles come out and start attacking you. The pigmen are basically neutral, outside of when they are guarding anything and you approach that area or you attack them. If you can find monster meat and give it to them, then they will actually follow you around and attack any creatures that attack you. Now, for instance, if you want to go after spiders, you can use the pigmen for that. The only danger is if the pigmen eat 4 spider meat, then they suddenly will turn green and then go crazy and go after you, become like monster pigmen and attack you. As you go along the game, you have a large map which you can use to figure out where you are and where your main campsite is. You can actually build farms. You build science and alchemy machines, which allow you new objects and also improve the ones that you have, since a lot of these, they only have limited uses. And after a while, they will break. You can build axes, you can build pickaxes, although the pickaxes are strictly to break up rocks. In this game, there is no mining. Everything is just strictly on the ground. So it is quite a challenge trying to keep all of the time and all of your statuses healthy, because as time goes on, you will, within each day, you will lose hunger. And trying to find food isn't all that easy. You can capture rabbits, but each time because it's considered an innocent creature, if you attack it, then your sanity goes down. You can chop down a lot of trees, but you have to keep it to a minimum, because if you chop down too much, then this one creature, which is, for those of you familiar with Lord of the Rings, which looks like an ent or like a walking tree, will soon come after you. So, let's see. You can find different structures here and there. You might find, like you find this one ring that you can rebuild, which will allow you one save. Now, after you die, you basically go back to the beginning. All of your stuff is left off wherever you died, and you will appear somewhere else on the map. And basically have to start all over again. Anything that you've kept in a backpack will disappear. And it is a bit of a struggle. I've played it for quite a while, and I've only been able to get to like day 15, which is not very far. Just slowly gotten into winter. As you progress through the game and get in higher and higher levels, you will gain new people, which each have their own advantages and disadvantages. For Wilson, the main character, the only advantage is that you will eventually start growing a beard. It will help you out during the winter, but it will overheat you in the summer. You have this one girl which can produce fire. You can have a robot which is constantly needing to be eating stuff in order to keep itself up, but it doesn't get ill, and so forth. So it is a fun game, and I do recommend it. It is found on Steam, and it is free. There's even a multiplayer version called Don't Starve Together. Well, that's it for me for right now. I will be going through, and in each succeeding episodes, we'll start talking about other games that I've played or heard about and reviewed. So until next time, and until next place, I will talk with y'all later. Have a good one. Bye.